It tastes drier on the palate than I expected.
Yeah, that tastes like the literal inside of an oak barrel, a charred oak barrel.
Kind of.
Wow, that is, whew. I'm trying to talk through it and I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
And welcome to the first sip. This sample right here was drawn at random from our first sip sample pool. Not only are we tasting this completely double blind, but whatever is in this glass is something we've never had before. Let's get right on into it, on the nose.
So to me, this smells like a log cabin that's been drizzled with caramel.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely getting some caramel. It smells like a really classic bourbon, but I'm also getting a little bit of oakiness in a musty way, but in a very pleasantly musty way.
Hence why I said log cabin.
Yeah. And then I'm also getting some appley type of sweetness from this one.
Interesting.
I mean, we're saying notes out loud here, but everything I'm getting is very faint. It's not jumping out of the glass.
It's not overpowering.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty mellow, comparatively speaking, from like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be high proof or anything like that. Let's get this thing on the palate.
All right. It tastes drier on the palate than I expected.
Yeah, that tastes like the literal inside of an oak barrel, a charred oak barrel.
Kind of.
Wow. That is, whew. I'm trying to talk through it and I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. I'm going to need a second first sip to get actually taste it.
Yeah, first impressions on this right off the first sip are how barrel charry it is. And it's, man, okay. Yeah, let's get another sip, but I'm actually interested in going back to the nose here in a minute.
Okay.
Let's go.
Interesting. So, you know the Pixie sticks, like the candy? I kind of like, something made me think of Pixie sticks. Not necessarily the sweetness, but maybe like the powderiness of a Pixie stick, but kind of sugary.
Yeah. I can kind of see what you mean there. To me, it has that candy sweetness, almost like it's kind of pushing towards like a strawberries and cream type of thing, but not in the creamy way that is.
Yeah.
Almost like a candy-esque way.
Like a strawberry Pixie stick, maybe?
But kind of,
but
more like a powdery
Yeah.
strawberries and cream.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's kind of dry.
It is dry.
But it's juicy somehow.
And it's a little bit warm. It doesn't feel super hot, but the second sip kind of built on the first sip, and it's tepid.
Yeah, I don't know what that word means.
I don't quite know what it means, but I think it means not cold, but not warm.
Oh, like tepid water.
Yeah.
That's what they mean.
Yeah.
Okay, context clues. Yeah. I will say the nose has opened up more.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm getting, everything that was there is still there, but it's all amplified. Like there's still the fruity sweetness with the classic bourbon profile underneath. And I wish I could say I was getting all the oak on the nose that I'm getting on the palate, but I'm not quite getting that yet. I may just need some more time with it, but let's get into another sip here.
Okay. Yeah, I have no new news.
Wow. Okay.
I need to spend like a second scoring it though.
Yeah. All right. We're going to spend some time scoring this and we'll be right back with that. All right, we've got our tasting scores. Let's talk about them.
So for me, I liked the nose on this. It gets a thumbs up. I also enjoyed the flavor. There wasn't a ton of flavor, but what was there was nice. So it gets a thumbs up as well. Okay. But the overall experience was just okay for me.
What made you mark it down to just okay on experience?
I think I wanted more like gravitas.
Okay.
Like I wanted a little bit more overall. The flavor was good. The nose was good, but I wanted more of it.
Yeah. I wondered if it was that dryingness.
Perhaps the dryingness as well. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I gave it 2 thumbs up on the nose. I really did love the nose. It opened up more, and that kind of pixie stick powder that you were talking about turned into this really fluffy, powdery sweetness that was really nice. Like it wasn't granulated and dry like a pixie stick dust, but it was more just like this fluffy, powdery, kind of confectionery type of nose, and I really love that.
Okay.
I've been really into noses of bourbons here lately. Assuming this is a bourbon, and I don't know if that's true or not. We'll find that out here in a minute. But the rest of the pour I liked. I thought it was fruity sweet on the palate, kind of a dark fruity sweetness. And then the experience I almost could have knocked down to a just okay because it did have that really dry oak element in it. And I don't love that all the time.
But I've also had worse, like drying oak too. It wasn't the most drying oak I've ever had.
Yeah, it's weird. It was a dry oak, but it wasn't super drying, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I couldn't mark it down on that. I enjoyed this glass overall. Okay. I'd be happy to have a bottle provided it's available and a decent enough price. It doesn't seem too high a proof. Can't wait to find out what this is. Let's get into it. Price first and then availability. Okay. So in our first sip key, this is number 81.
Whoa, it's $200.
Well, wowza.
I don't not have guessed that.
Yeah, that's going to change some things.
You said, yeah.
81. All right. Wow. What is it?
Old Carter Bourbon batch number 10 is 116 proof, which I would never have guessed.
I would have pegged this at like 98 proof tops.
Like it was not high proof.
Low 90s.
And this is thanks to Barry Hawk.
Barry, thanks, man.
Barry coming in with
oh my goodness.
The Old Carter. Wow.
Old Carter batch 10?
Batch 10.
Bourbon. Wow.
Correct.
Okay, you guys will have to tell us about that down in the comments. I'm gonna have to do some Googling and some research. Wow, the nose really came around. Now that we know what it is, I want to take one more sip. We're gonna get to the rest of our things, but I want to know now that we know what it is.
Why does that change?
It ain't gonna change anything, but I just want to taste it.
Then why take a sip?
Because I want to taste it again knowing what it is. Wow, yeah, I've had so little of Old Carter. It's just not in our market. And even if it were, spending that much on a bottle is not something I do very often, if ever. Wow, I'm kind of stunned at this. I can't believe this is what this is. We do need to talk about our real world metrics. Okay. So based on price and availability, this being a $200 bottle, that is a batch 10 is a one-time release, but each batch is a one-time release. Okay. And it's not available in our market, but in other markets, it's also pretty hard to find. So based on the price and availability, where are you at on your retail score? So for me, because I didn't love it, it's a hard pass. So it's a thumbs down, no go, do not pass go, do not collect the $200 that you're spending on this whiskey because, Okay. It's going to get a thumbs down from me as well on retail score. It kind of sounds like your consumer score. Would you buy this or pass on it? I would pass. It's a no-go. Okay, so what's that put your real world score at? At a 2.5. Yikes. I mean, it hurt big time by the price and availability and the fact that it didn't blow you away for that money. Yeah, and I told you it was like I would pay $50 for it, but I wouldn't pay $200 for it. Yeah. Personally. For me, I'm going to give it a just okay on consumer score, and that does put my real world score at a 4.5 out of 10. Okay. A lot of that is the fact that I did really enjoy the nose, and while the heavy oak element is not really striking me, it's not the mood I'm in tonight, it doesn't mean that I'm never in the mood for that type of experience, and there are times where I definitely would gravitate towards this, and to be quite frank, I would just love to have an Old Carter bottle on the shelf, but man, it is very difficult for me to part with $200 of whiskey, or $200 for whiskey, and this would be tough. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed and you like our content, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell notification while you're down there to be notified when we post our monthly live streams. Be good to each other, and until next time, cheers. Welcome to the welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer. And welcome to the first sip. Not only is this sample drawn at random, nope, that's not the way that goes. Okay. Welcome to the first sip. This sample was drawn at random from our first sip sample. Nope. Good grief. People have gotten on to me for giving stuff thumbs up across the board, but sometimes like there's not a reason to mark anything down, but then there's not really a reason to mark anything up either. You're drinking it. They're not drinking it. If Mom's drinking it. She's definitely not. She's definitely not drinking it. My mother, I've never seen her drink alcohol in my life. You think she ever has? Probably when she was a teenager. I bet. A teenager? She was kind of a little. She was kind of a little rebellious. Not like. A little Spitfire. She's a Spitfire. Not rebellious, but she has some gumption. You get a little teriyaki on the nose here. I'm getting this savory element. Definitely not. I'm getting this little bit of a savory element sometimes, and it smells a little like teriyaki, like it's sweet and tangy. I do like me some teriyaki. I'm getting it on a lot of pours lately, and I'm not saying it out loud because I don't want anybody to think I'm crazy, but... If you get it, say it. I mean, what do you think I do?
If I got teriyaki on a pour, I would absolutely say it. 100%.
You said something smelled like a splintered ladder yesterday.
If you get it, say it. It doesn't matter what other people think. Oh, it's 9:30. My watch is telling me I need to get ready for bed.